Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Back COD Banter. I am your host, Tucker Hazel, joined by my friend and co-host, Sergeant Dan. Unfortunately, Daniel Navaroli was killed in action since the time of the first episode until now, so his estranged cousin, Sergeant Dan, is filling in, and hopefully he'll stick around for the rest of the series. Welcome, Sergeant Dan. How you doing?
Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome.
Oh,
excited to talk about Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, we are back. This is now a series of videos. Actually, it is not a one-off random Call of Duty review on my channel. My friend Sergeant Dan and I are here to review. We're here to rank the Call of Duty games. That's our goal. But we're here to talk about 2005's Call of Duty 2, the second game in the Call of Duty series. I actually there was one sort of PS2 spin-off game before this. I think. Was it Final Fronts? No, I was a World War One. I can't remember the name of it, but
there's a spinoff for Call of Duty 2.
Big Red One. Yeah, I think there was one in between.
There one in between one and
unless
two?
I'm wrong, but regardless, Call of Duty 2, released in 2005, developed by Infinity Ward. It has three campaigns: the Russian campaign, the British campaign, and the American campaign, split into 27 missions. Sergeant Dan, give me your high-level thoughts on Call of Duty 2.
Okay, just quick strokes, I guess. Number one, the music didn't hit me as hard.
Sure. Yeah, not a Giacchino score this time.
Not a Giacchino score.
No.
Of course. I can tell when the music just didn't kick. Gameplay still feels great. Mm-hmm. Overall, I like the game. I think it's a competent game. It didn't do as much for me as much as the first one did.
Yeah, so there's something interesting about the first one being so revolutionizing aim down sights, being obviously the first game in a series, holding up surprisingly well for a 2003 game. But after playing the first one, having it be my real first touchstone for the Call of Duty series, and going into a sequel, not knowing what was going to be changed, what was going to be expanded, I think this game is a lot better than the first one from a lot of different design philosophy aspects and just from a variety aspect. I mean, the visuals are not huge amounts better, but they are better.
They're better.
There's better smoke effects. There's better AI. There's better
the AI is sound and all improved.
That. Yeah. So I personally think that, and spoilers for how we're going to rank them at the end of the video, but I think this game is pretty much categorically improved over the first, and it's just like the first game, but more polished up with less rough edges, and I think it's actually a lot better than I expected it to be.
Yeah, I think the thing that I don't want to jump to the ranking. I think the thing that makes me like one better is just the variety of missions.
Sure,
and they're a little quicker. These missions kind of took a little too long.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting. I think it's one of this game's strong suits, at least in my opinion, is that these missions, there is a lot more mission variety here in terms of inside of a single mission. You're going to be doing a lot more different things. And that does mean that they're longer, they're more substantial, but each one sort of tells its own mini story. You're not just doing one area, you're finishing an area, hopping onto a car and seamlessly transitioning into shooting off the back of a car and then climbing up a tower and aiming down a sniper rifle. Like there's a variety within the missions, which I felt kept them moving at a good pace.
Sure. I see that. I like the shorter, tighter missions.
Sure.
Call of Duty definitely is not known for shorter, tighter missions. I thought it was coming back to one after me playing pretty much all the other ones. One just felt pretty nice. Two, you are right. There are bigger areas that you are going and doing multiple things. You're taking out multiple tanks. You're some of the later missions. There's the whole bunker area. That's a pretty big section. It definitely there's a lot that one does, though. You still have the three different perspectives that you have to go through.
Yes.
I kind of wish it just would have changed it up there.
Yeah. That's one element that I both think is a strength and a negative for playing these two back to back is they do feel pretty similar in my mind. Having never played a Call of Duty game before and having them be framed the exact same way, Russian campaign, British campaign, American campaign, though the order is different than they are in one. But because of that structure, I'd never experienced something like that before. And frankly, I don't think it's a great structure because the parts are not intertwined. They're just stories in World War II. And you are and a named protagonist, but you're not a character in this war. You have some fun side characters that are like going through the missions with you, but they don't really do that much other than be supportive soldiers that you consistently interact with. So I think from that regard, it makes them quite samey and hard to distinguish in my mind. But I do think that that also makes this game, is one of the reasons why I think this game is better, is because it is very similar, but in very key regards, I do think this game is better. The environments, as we were talking about, are larger, and I think that scope and scale contributes to a more impactful wartime feel. I mean, you're going to a lot wider variety of locations. They're more intricately designed in terms of if you have multiple objectives and you can tackle them in any order, they've got tons of different hallways and alleyways to go around these crumbled down houses and hop over fences and stuff like that, which is similar to what you did in the first game, but it is just a wider scope.
One was very limited in what it could do at the time.
Mm-hmm. That's certainly true. I do think that obviously slightly better technology here, but experience with making one of these games allowed them to just double down on certain things.
Yeah. Again, we get Captain Price. I want to shout out Captain Price. Mm-hmm. He's going to be in every game, so be prepared.
Get used to it.
Yeah. I actually don't have a lot more to say about 2. Tim, like I said right before we started, this game was not nearly as remarkable for me. It's very high quality, I think, especially for the time, but it didn't hit for me as much as 1 did.
Yeah, well, so some of the things that for me sanded down the edges of 1, which is the reason I really think that this is, personally, I find it to be the better game, is things like the checkpointing and health pack system in 1 was very antiquated. To me, it felt very frustrating to have your health get too low, so then you can't save the checkpoints. So you got to play through the entire thing. This game has a lot more generous checkpointing. The game is auto-saving when you blow up a tank in a mission. It auto-saves, so you don't have to play through the entire thing to get up to that point again if you die, which is very nice. It's a great quality of life feature that keeps the game moving a lot more and to me felt more engaging, because I was never under the risk of, oh God, I have to play this entire thing again.
Yeah, the health packs never really bothered me. I'm a Halo 1 person. Like, we had health packs in Halo 1, even though you did have regen health then. You still had health packs. Health packs didn't bother me. Enemy AI and the checkpoints definitely are better in 2. And I could see an argument when we rank them for that, just to be the factor, because enemy AI in 1 was very bad. That was the worst part of 1, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as you mentioned with the health packs, which is a big part of how the first game was paced out, that system is entirely gone from this, and I think for the better. The idea that you don't need to find the obscenely low amount of health packs that were in 1 to regen yourself. Like, you're scrounging through these houses hoping to find one, which is an interesting feel for like feeling stressed and like you're in these environments that are not very friendly to you, which is of course the idea. But from a pacing perspective and just a general gameplay flow, it's clear to me that this took first person shooters in a better direction for me. Just being able to back away from a fight and be a little more aggressive. I found that to be a fun way to play this game, sort of leading my squadron through these areas, tackling people and getting down really quickly, and then I can just back away. I don't have to worry too much about my health.
Yeah, you could just be running around in 2. And 1, you cannot do that. And then that's you can't really hate on 1 for really having it, because at the time that's what a lot of shooters had. They had the health packs. But this is having regen health is huge. I mean, Halo generally had regen health, like I said, but
it's very similar to how it feels in Halo of your shields break, boom, back away. Okay, I need to like crouch behind a rock, assess the situation a little bit, and make sure, whoop, here my shields come back. And there's no shields in this game. It's just the screen starts flashing red like an Uncharted game. It's very similar to how Uncharted took this and ran with it. And I'm sure the rest of the Call of Duty series as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much every Call of Duty. This is just, you have regen health. The health is they don't change it really.
Yeah, there's also a couple other things that this game does add that I do think improve the variety and and just playability of it. This is something that wasn't in the first one, which I didn't realize, but is now obvious in retrospect. There wasn't a grenade location indicator in the first one, so just adding that.
I never thought about that.
I know. I don't. It was never really a problem, but that's it's a nice quality of life thing, and it's become so standardized that good. Glad you added that, because
just a little dash, anything, right?
Yeah, there's a little grenade indicator in this game. And also I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, in the first one you could not jump over low walls, but you definitely can here.
There's definitely like jump up things.
Yeah,
right. Mm-hmm. I don't remember in one.
I don't think there was
the jump up things. I don't remember that.
Yeah, it just allows these environments to feel like you have a little bit better control over them. If there's even just a tiny bit of barbed wire, of course you can't jump over that. There's minefields, there's things blocking you off, but you're able to hop over small walls and just scale around things a little bit better, which I think is nice for traversal, especially in these larger areas, more complex areas. Like especially when you're getting to some of those larger missions where you have to kind of backtrack and go do multiple things at the same time. Being able to hop over walls and scale the environment is definitely a nice quality of life feature.
Yeah, at least it's just a little bit better. It's still this game is still very linear. You have an objective, or you're just kind of moving to the next section, 100%. The next building. Like you're not really meant to kind of like scale everything like Titanfall, like
no, of course walls.
Not. Yeah, like this is still very corridor shooter, and
that's true. I mean, especially considering there's no sprint in this game, which is I think really how this game feels the most dated. FPS games are now built around having a sprint and being able to sort of change how fast you're going. But you're stuck to your walking speed in this game, and that feels a little bit shaky to me.
I mean, that's more of a debate, because that is a debate in the Halo community.
Sure.
And Call of Duty completely transformed, and it's just all sprinting. Mm-hmm. But it's sprint is something that I know most people like, and it's not in this game.
I mean, I didn't have too big of a problem with it, but like if I'm so used to just sprinting in games,
clicking that
generally,
stick and sprint.
100%.
Yeah, I agree. In Call of Duty, it's such a fast-paced game; it should definitely have it. You will get sprints.
Yeah, thank you.
Or I can disable it for you. I mean,
that'd be nice. Yeah, of course. I think really for me, the other thing that sticks out is just how different a lot of these missions are in concept. I mean, there's specific memorable ones here that are more cinematic, that take a different approach to how you're approaching a situation of killing the Germans. I mean, that's the whole point of the game. But I mean, even just in the Russian one, the Russian campaign, there's a mission where you're going through these pipes that are above a rail yard, I think. And bullets, the Germans keep shooting up at you, and bullets come through the side of the metal pipe and light streaming in, and you can shoot down from above. Like that conceptually is a lot more memorable than almost anything that was in the first one, maybe barring from that Russian mission where you didn't have a gun and you were just like running for your life. I think that's sort of
the car mission. I like the car mission.
Oh, sure. Yeah. There's a couple of those that stand out from the first one. But I mean, just from a variety perspective, that the first game didn't really have things like this. And I even think about like the end of the I think the British campaign when you're in Africa and you have to protect this village, and you're up at the top using your binoculars to call in artillery strikes. Like that is a very different kind of gameplay, and it flows naturally from a sort of almost tower defense style mission where you're running around the trenches, trying
to get the tanks. Exactly. Trying to get your planes to get the tanks and stuff. Yeah.
100%. And I thought that was really fun, especially combined with another thing this game added, which I think increases the immersion, is call outs from your allies, like your other members of your squad. They're always like, German soldiers behind the left flank, like check behind the boxes, behind the sandbags. It's like it gives you a really nice sense of communication that the first game was definitely lacking.
It grounds you in being in the squad and being in Germany or wherever they are. Yeah. It's really nice. It helps the immersion of the game. And even to missions that stand out. One of the opening missions, maybe it's the second thing you do in the Russian, is you go and blow up that Nazi building. Like that's an awesome spectacle. Very early in the game. I really like that. It was just infiltrate it, blow it all up. It looked nice. There wasn't as much variety didn't feel overall though.
Hmm.
Maybe it was me. Like we didn't get like a ton of tank missions. Like
Yeah.
I
There
feel
was
like
the one tank mission, which
there was the one.
was so much better than tank missions in the first one because
Yeah.
you're so much faster. You're probably 1.75 times faster in this tank than you were in the first one.
And you have more health.
Yes, yeah. I thought that one was pretty fun. I mean, it definitely sticks out, and it's like a desert location, and there's hills, and you're communicating with a bunch of people in tanks. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, or the mission where you're running behind them to like
100%.
take
Yeah.
cover.
Mhm.
I really liked that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the American section was probably my favorite.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I think some
Or
of
was that the American section?
No, that was
Yeah,
part
that
of the British one. The
that was
British
the British one. I'm
is
sorry, the
it
British
takes place in Africa.
in Africa. That's
Yes.
one. Yes.
Yeah, the British one, the British and Russian one campaigns, I think, are the highlight of this game. The American campaign is totally solid. I think it's kind of more of a continuation of the design philosophy of the first game, going from specifically, British town to British town, or not European town to European town, like kind of the same kind of environment.
Very samey buildings.
Yeah. And my biggest problem, I think, with this game is that American campaign can feel kind of repetitive in comparison to the first ones that I think mix up enough to where I never felt there was any repetition. And I also think that the American campaign, which is the last campaign in the game, ends on a very low note, like a not very exciting.
I wanted to mention that.
Yeah, no, of course,
it's a whimper.
It's a big deal.
It's a whimper.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it does not end great. It does not. You finally get to like go on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was actually called D-Day. I don't remember.
It was. I didn't do research. I'm not a war guy. I'm not a history guy, so I don't know the specifics. It's not Omaha Beach where
it's not Normandy.
Normandy. Yeah.
Where
that happened.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten there, which is interesting. But
yeah,
it was very similar.
It's on the same day. It's in sort of a similar location, but you're climbing up these ropes and into trenches, which I thought was pretty cool. And that's also one of the moments that is very cinematic is you hop off that boat and a bombshell goes off near you and you're on the ground being pulled by someone. I thought that was a cool way to, for the first time in the series, really create like a cutscene of that sort of from that angle.
Yeah. I also want to mention characters. I feel like I liked more of the characters in this game,
sure.
Especially the British one. Like I forget their names now. I played this game.
There's like a McGregor.
McGregor. Then there was your captain.
Yeah,
it was Captain Price, and then there was
Captain
one other
Russell or something like that. Yeah.
There's another person with you. I feel like there was just a little bit more bonding here. With your squad. When the first one you really didn't have much of that.
Yeah. One of the things that this series has had since the first one is all the names of your companions showing up when you mouse over them, which I actually paid attention to for the first time in this game. And it is kind of fun to create your own mini story of your squad and focus on one of your guys. And like, I want to pay attention to see if this guy lives or dies and like sort of treat the AI as your real squad mates. That's something you have to do on your own. The game doesn't like tell you to do that and you can completely ignore it. But I think it's a nice touch.
Yeah, giving them names, trying to humanize just these AI and grounding you in the world.
Yeah, but to mention the underwhelming note of that American campaign, it is especially sad because the second to last mission of the American campaign is not one of the best missions in the game, but you're defending this big hill with a lot of smoke bombs coming on it. There's a bunker on top of a hill and Germans are coming up from all sides and they keep air raiding you. So you have to back under cover to make sure you don't just get killed in one hit. You
keep aggressively like moving back from where you start. You're moving back into the different into the bunker, and then you end up in this one area towards like the back when you're trying to call in for help. Yeah, absolutely. And it takes place in one place, and it's a pretty interestingly designed place. And there's a lot of bombing going on. There's smoke bombs and tanks coming up. It's really crazy. And then the last mission, you blow up a couple tanks, and then your character gets promoted in like a line of dialogue at the end, and then the credits roll. And it's like, I feel like the order of these should have been flipped. I don't know how. I don't know if it makes sense in the progression of the actual war or whatever, but in terms of
ending on an exciting, heroic note. Yeah, you win in the last mission,
or something a little more satisfying.
But exactly, yeah, it's not very exciting to, especially because when you finish that last mission, the last thing you do isn't press the button to blow up a building or shoot the final bullet in a plane or whatever. It's you finish, you blow up the tank, and you walk all the way back to the meeting spot, and then they just and then they stand there and they're like, "Good work, soldier. You're promoted to lieutenant or sergeant or whatever. I can't remember." And it's like, huh?
There's only one sergeant. That's me.
That's a great point. Only one sergeant in our hearts. Yeah, but it's definitely a strange pacing choice.
Yeah, I'm glad that you felt the same, because when I finished the game, I was like, wait a second, is there something that I missed? did I fall asleep? Did I miss something?
Yeah,
because it just ends. I was kind of shocked because it's not what I usually expect from a Call of Duty.
Yeah, I mean, especially because there's no overarching story or character moments, particularly. This game is built on its spectacle, which I think for the most part it absolutely succeeds on. And I was a lot more blown away by the scale and the scope and the sound design and the creativity of these missions, building on what the first one set up. But then when you end on just another mission, like it's not an exceptional mission, it's a totally serviceable mission, but that definitely takes a big like knock out of the flow of this game, like ending on a sort of a down note.
Yeah, at least make it more epic when you get promoted. Then it might have been cool.
Yeah, because it's just kind of an in-engine cutscene of the guy talking. Yeah, it's like, okay, well,
yeah, give like the president giving you a medal or something like that would have been way cooler.
Yeah. Speaking of the cutscenes, though, one of the last things I want to mention is I vastly preferred having the military channel cutscenes between the missions, of historical footage being shown and a narrator telling you this is what's going on, that we met here, and we had something I think akin to that in the first game, but they definitely felt more at home here.
Yeah, I think it works better here. I feel like they were like slides in the first game.
Yeah,
there's definitely way more footage in this one.
Mm-hmm. And you still get the like the dossiers, the notes that the soldiers are taking for the loading screens, which is a nice carryover.
That helps flush the game out, so you're not just reading a bunch of text all the time or listening to dialogue. Some people just don't even want to listen or just skip. So that gives you an option to actually read something.
Mm-hmm. And any other thoughts about Call of Duty 2?
They should have brought Giacchino back.
Yeah,
that's what I gotta say.
Yeah, it's weird that he left. I mean, especially considering that this was a much bigger deal than the first game, bigger budget, bigger production. I mean, more experience on the
same team.
Yeah, and also bigger deal in the industry. I mean, this game, I believe it launched with a 360 and sold incredibly well and kickstarted the series to what it really became. I mean, obviously the first one founded that, and then this built on that, and then Modern Warfare, as we'll get to, kind of spun that off into something else. But it's interesting that sort of the one thing that's missing is Michael Giacchino doing the score. Why did he leave? Who knows?
yeah, it's very, very odd. And Jason West and what's his name? I can't even remember his name. Vince Zampella. I was going to look it up.
Yes,
Vince Zampella. They both did this again. Jason West directed it again, and Zampella produced it again. Like it's just proof, like these guys, you're going to keep seeing their name for a while. They're great. They don't miss. They make great games.
Yeah, and I think this is a great game, and we can transition now into the ranking of the games, which we can have a little bit of conversation about. But this game proved to me that there is a lot of, I mean, I thought the first game was good, but now in retrospect, seeing how this, in my eyes, built upon that foundation, with new mechanics and more expansive environments and better callouts for your companions and all of that. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this should go at the top. If you disagree, we can have a little bit of a conversation, but
I won't fight too hard.
Present your case.
I put a lot of stock into being the first in the series a lot of the time.
Sure.
I mean, that also shouldn't like hold a ton of weight, maybe, but being the first and being as revolutionary as Call of Duty 1 is, like, I think that's a lot. It did a lot for the industry. I can't really make too much of an argument because a lot of my complaints really they fixed the checkpoints, the AI. Those are really my two complaints from the first game, and they improved it here. So you know, I'm okay with 2 being above 1. I personally would probably put 1
sure
above it.
Well, then I'll allow you to concede to me, and we'll put 2 at number 1 now. But
you're so gracious.
Yeah, I know. Well, out of the goodness of my heart, Sergeant Dan, you can concede. But we've got a lot of other games coming that we can have bigger discussions about their placement and stuff. And I'm excited to see this series go, as I've enjoyed, you know, the 2 games we've played progressively more. I'm kind of excited to see the games step out of this structure, the 3 campaign structure, no real story to speak of, no real characters to speak of. I'm excited to see it grow past that, frankly.
Yeah, see, 3 is also, like, I didn't really play 1, 2, or 3. 4 is really where I pretty much have played all of them. There's a few that I haven't beaten in terms of campaigns, but I've like dabbled. But 4 on is really where I play every Call of Duty. I still play every Call of Duty. I'm very excited for 3. Yeah, I want you to keep that in mind of what you said a little bit ago about seeing why people talk about Call of Duty. I want you to keep that mindset because you're about to see it.
So. Yeah, I definitely hope so. I mean, I'm also excited to see a not World War II game, because I think one of the reasons that these 2 games feel very similar is that not only are the campaigns, you know, this from the same perspectives and in some parts in the same areas, but they're both World War II, and so they're using the same guns, and of course that helped with development time and stuff. They're using the same models. They feel very samey because and correct me if I'm wrong, but 3 is also a World War II game.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I got 1 more of those, and I know there's a couple other ones in the future. But
do you want me to spoil it? You're gonna get mostly World War II for a little bit.
Yeah.
The only one that isn't is Modern Warfare, and then you go back to World War II.
Sure. Well, we'll see how they can improve on other things, because I don't hate the World War II aesthetic. Sure. I think it works very well, but variety is important to me, and that's something that I'm darkly excited to get to the ones that people don't like Ghosts and Infinite Warfare and stuff like that, because I feel like it'll be interesting to see.
I don't want to hear bad talking Infinite Warfare.
Oh wait, no, sorry, Advanced Warfare. That's
Advanced Warfare is bad. Infinite Warfare, there are some haters.
Yeah,
like I'm not going to spoil anything.
Yeah,
Infinite Warfare is super fun. It is off the wall crazy.
I'm coming in completely unfettered, and frankly, I'd love to be. I'd love to agree with you on that, but we'll certainly see. I mean, there's a lot more to come, and thank you very much for joining me, Sergeant Dan, on this second installment.
I'm very excited to keep playing these games.
Can we get a moment of silence for Daniel Navaroli? He'll be missed. Maybe I'll put a little in memoriam at the end of this. In memoriam.
Yeah. I heard him crying.
Damn, that sucks, bro. Sheesh. All right. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. Subscribe to Backlog Banter. Check out Nerd at Gods in remembrance of Daniel Navaroli. Give them a sub. And we'll see you guys in a month for Call of Duty 3.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.